Shalom, giving all praises to Yahawah, Qadash, Shalom to the 144,000 and the rest of the elect out there. Shalom to you all. Anyway, I'm going to entitle this video, The Other Egypt, Land of the North. As we know, let me do this. Bear with me for a minute. Bear with me for a minute. Biblical map. Don't like this one. Let me see. Okay, we can deal with this one here. I wanted to get the world map, but we really don't need it. So, Egypt is right here. You see Egypt? So this is all Egypt. You got the Red Sea. You got the Nile, Suez Canal. I'm sorry, Gulf of Suez, Gulf of Akbar. You got the wilderness where the children of Israel were for 40 years. You got Palestine, Israel, the land of Canaan. So now Egypt, if you open this map up onto the world map, and you find out where the north is. This right here is considered the east. You go this way, and that's the west, which is the Americas, Canada, America, the U.S., Central and South America. But the Israelites, the Israelites inhabited Canada because you had a lot of Gad up there. America, which is Gad and Reuben, and then you had the rest of the northern kingdom, which was in the southern part of America. You got Babylon. Okay, is the Euphrates here? Euphrates is along here. So the north, let's say the north east could be Babylon in relation to Jerusalem, Egypt, and so forth. Russia is the uttermost north. America is the uttermost west to the north, but the uttermost north is Russia, which is more north than Canada and America. So sometimes when you come across the word north in the scriptures, prophetically, sometimes it's talking about America, sometimes it's talking about Russia. So now I'm going to show y'all something. I'm not going to make this long. I put in the land of the north. So you got these where it actually gives you the land of the north. And then it'll say land north. Here are the remaining matches. But these are exact matches. You know, when you deal with people that claim they know the Bible, the scholars, and they'll speak about the North Country or Egypt, anytime they come across the word Egypt, they'll say it's talking about Egypt on a map. Or Babylon, which is off of the Euphrates. So let me just read these precepts here. Like I said, I'm not going to make this long. Jeremiah 3 verse 18. It said, in those days, the house of Judah, which is the kingdom of Judah, shall walk with the house of Israel. So that, what does that mean? We know that there was a split, right? After King Solomon's son, Rehoboam and Jeroboam took part of the kingdom. And it was prophesied by the prophet Ahijah. He tore his garment and his mantles, I believe it was his mantle, and he cut it up into 12, I believe it was 12 pieces, and he gave him 10. And Levi was one of the 10, but all of Levi was scattered throughout the tribes. The Levites were scattered throughout the other tribes. As the priests, the lawgivers, or to make the interpretation of the law, they were judges. So Jeroboam said, no, you gotta get with Judah. We're gonna have our own priests. So Gad, you're gonna have priests among Gad, priests among Ephraim, and so forth, you know. So this is after that fact. So Jeremiah is the prophet, right? He's prophesying that the house of Judah and the house of Israel shall come together, right? And they shall come together out of the land of the north. You got Bishop Nathaniel going all around the 12 tribes worldwide, which you're not committing a sin. You're not being evil by doing that, but you're wearing yourself out. We noticed that you were teaching, you had a patch of hair missing, and we ain't snapping on you. But what we said, because, you know, we listen to you. We watch all of your videos, as you said about us, ours. So Apostle Gabar will have the smartphone, and he sees what's going on. And we just hear it through Bishop Shakaran's chariot. And so Apostle Gabar said, look at this guy. He's losing hair. He's got a patch missing. And he didn't so much say it as snapping on it. And I looked at it and I noticed it. And I said, if that's the case, if that's the case that he's losing hair or whatever the case may be, hell, I'm losing freaking hair. I said, that's from stress. And I said, that's from him, world hopping and trying to, you're trying to give that energy to a lot of people that follow you. And this is what Jethro told Moses how to rule his people, set up captains and so forth. You set up captains and officers and now it's apostles, prophets, and so forth, bishops. The brothers in GMS, the men in GMS, or the bishops, they're really prophets and teachers. So the guys, let me give you an example. Dallas, Texas, you got the head, you got the second in command, you got the third in command, you got a rank and file. So they don't be calling us, well, there's a situation with a brother, what should we do? They deal with it. If they got if a guy's really going off, they kick him out the camp. He's obviously going off. They don't got to say, well, is it all right if we kick this guy and out the camp because he committed adultery with and he did this and he pulled a gun out. Nah, you don't gotta call us. Just get rid of the guy. And I don't know what Bishop Nathaniel does behind closed doors, but I guess he wants to know every. You can't worry about everybody. You got people under you that are willing to do the work too. You pass it's called to delegate authority. Hey, you was a police officer. Now that's a fact. Was. And they have different ranks and they delegate authority. The chief don't be out there, he jumps out of the bushes, I'm the chief of police. No, it's the other officers. And then you got ranks among them. So Jethro said, look, Moses, if you try to do this, because he said all I do all day is sit there and the people come to me with their problems. He said you're going to wear yourself out and you're going to wear out your people, because you're not going to give them sound advice because you're all stressed out. So he said, set up the captains, blah, 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 10s, 50s, 100s, whatever, and let them deal with the situation. If it's a big problem, then you deal with it. And what is a big problem? A big problem is it starts off as a small problem, right? So I'm just putting that out there to you. And another thing, the 12 tribes worldwide, GMS is global too, but they're global through the web. The WWW, the World Wide Web, does our heavy lifting, and that's what the Apostle Gabar, he always says that. He started saying that, and I would say it from time to time. He said the YouTube, the World Wide Web, the internet does our heavy lifting. And that's in the scriptures. That's Psalms. And I'll give you two scriptures. Psalms 19, from the first verse on down, about the 4 verses, 5 verses. 2nd Ezra's 6. It was 6, from about the 21st verse around there, where it says the book shall be open before the firmament. Matter of fact, let me go to that real quick. Hey, we go out there, we do a video, it goes out on YouTube, and people say, so you guys speaking to the camera. You're damn right we speaking to the camera. Hey, when you see somebody on TV, they got a camera to broadcast it to millions of people. And the director says, look into the camera, talk to the camera. So wait a minute, let me come over here. 2nd Ezra. Six. And start at 21. Let me open this up. Bear me for a minute. That's not it. forget this. This is not what I want. Let me do this. View chapter. Okay, so firmament is here. This is what I want. You can read the whole chapter, but it says, and it said, and this was a gigantic ship. The days come that I will begin to draw nigh and to visit them that dwell upon the earth. That's talking about right now. As the Most High set up the prophets, we went out there prophesying. Before we came into this thing, there were men before us that was prophesying. Scriptures say others have entered into their labor. So as we prophesy, the Most High backed up what we say, because it's His word anyway. You're seeing a lot of UFO sightings, man. Even the U.S. government had to sit down and have Senate meetings or whatever about these guys in the Air Force. That at one time they said no, ain't no such thing as UFOs. Now they're saying that there are. It says, and I will begin to make inquisition of them, what they be that have hurt unjustly with their unrighteousness, and when the affliction of Zion shall be fulfilled. Because they come against us. We were carried over here to serve slavery. We caught hell in America. What does it say in Ezekiel 36:5? After our iniquity had an end, it says, and when the world that shall begin to vanish away, whose world? Esau's world. Jump up to, the 9th verse, shall be finished. Whose world shall be finished? Esau's world should be finished. As a matter of fact, let me do this. This clown, Geno Jennings, said, that's talking about Jesus. He said Esau is Arabic for Jesus, but he didn't read. That idiot didn't read the verse above that. It mentions from Abraham unto Isaac and Jacob and Esau were born. So the 9th verse is talking about what does it mean by Esau? It's talking about the brother of Jacob, the son of Isaac. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. This proves right here, Vocab Malone, that Esau is still here. Because we're either in the rulership of Esau or we're in the rulership of Jacob. We're not in the rulership of Jacob because the kingdom's not here. Let me come back over here. And when the world that shall begin to vanish away shall be finished, then will I show these tokens. The books shall be opened before the firmament, and they shall see all together. What is that talking about? It's talking about the World Wide Web. The signal goes up into the satellites, which is Genesis, Psalms 19, and it could go. Look, 1 million people can watch me do a video, or any of y'all, or 1 billion people, or 5 billion people. I mean, or whatever. It's talking about right now. The internet does our heavy lifting, okay? So anyway, I'm finished with that. Let's come on back. Where the hell are we? So it says, so we know that this is talking about now. They're coming together now. It says, house of Judah shall walk with the house of Israel, and they shall come together out of the land of the north. The land of the north is not Russia, even though you're going to have Israelites that live in Russia. Israelite founded Russia. Russia is a compound word, two Hebrew words. It says, and they shall come together out of the land of the north. And this is why you had, Putin pull out this box with these icons of black people, because the original people of Russia and Europe, that pushed out Esau. Esau wasn't in Russia. Jake discovered Russia. Moscow is a Russian name. Russia is a Russian name. I mean, a Hebrew name. It says out of. I did this one thing. I looked up the Russian language, the roots of the Russian language. If you do a little research, it says the roots of the Russian language goes back to Hebrew. But Michael, I did that maybe 4 or 5 years ago. I have to do it again. You can do the research. You know what I'm going to do? Matter of fact, let me do this. I was looking this up earlier. Babylon the Great is America. And you got certain Edomite pastors that they're now teaching that. The case for identifying Babylon the Great with the United States. It's on YouTube. Is the United States Mystery Babylon. Is America Babylon the Great? America is the new Babylon. The fall of Babylon the Great America. What is Mystery Babylon? Where is American Bible prophecy? There will be Babylon. Okay. Now what did I say I was going to do? Let me do this. Let me just come back here. I'll go back to that. So it says here, Jeremiah 16 verse 15, but Yahawah liveth, that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north. The land of the north is not Russia, it's talking about America. And from all the lands whither he had driven them, forced them, and I will bring them again into their land that I gave unto their fathers. As a matter of fact, let me do this anyway. Let me go ahead and do this. Jeremiah 3 and 18. Commentary. For the reunion of the return Israel and Judah, Ezekiel 37, 16 and 28, good precept. Isaiah 11, 12 to 14. We should know these by heart, so I'm not going to go to that. Now, this is what I did here. I put in Jeremiah 16, verse 14. Actually, it's 15, but he put in 14 and 15. It said, Cambridge Bible for schools and colleges. See, and it was an intro, whatever, summary to section. These two verses recurring as they do in a suitable context as Jeremiah 23 verse 7. Now this is going to show you that when you come across the word Egypt in the scriptures, depending on where you come across the word, you have to read it in the context. Sometimes the word Egypt is talking about America. Revelation 11 and 8 for one. Isaiah 19. And this is the proof right here. It said we're going to come out of the land of the north, right? Jeremiah 16, 14, and 15, right? So now check this out. This is Jeremiah receiving another vision about us coming out of the land of the north. But this is what it says. Jeremiah 23, verse 7. Therefore, behold, the days come, saith Yahawah, that they shall no more say. That's what comes to mind when you read it. Jeremiah 16 and 14 and 15. Yahawah liveth, which brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt, which says the same thing. Says the same thing. But they shall be delivered from the land of the north. Now, if you go to Isaiah 19, for example, matter of fact, let me do this. Isaiah 19. Let me read this. Zechariah 2, verse 6. Ho, ho, come forth and flee from the land of the north. Which some scriptures say, instead of the land of the north, they say it's Egypt. So are we coming out of Egypt again a second time? Or are we coming out of the land of the north? Well, the Egypt that we're coming out of is the land of the north. It said, the land of the north, saith the Lord, for I have spread you abroad as the four winds of the heaven, north, east, west, and so we're literally all over the place. You might look at a guy and think he's an Edomite, and he might be a Jake. You might look at an individual and might think he's a Jake, it might be a Edomite. So you can't just look at somebody and say, well, you're an Edomite. Because he might be a Jake. It says, winds of the heaven, north, east, west, and south, saith Yahawah. So now let me deal with this word Egypt. Egypt. Okay, it occurs 611 times in 558 verses. So we know when you read Genesis, we know it's talking about ancient Egypt, right? Okay. All right, let's go here. I'm sorry. Let's go back one. Let me come over here. Oh no, this is what I do want. This is what I want. Isaiah 30 verse 2, Isaiah 30 verse 3. They walked to go down into Egypt. We know that that's not talking about the ancient Egypt. Therefore shall the strength of thy Pharaoh be to thy shame. You got these Jakes that are in the Kemet, the Egyptologists, and the trust and the shadow of Egypt, your confusion. What is the shadow of something? It's not the real thing. They made a whole religion or philosophy of Egypt. They call it Egyptology, which is Kemet. Kemet is ancient for Ham, Chum, or Chamite. So this is not talking about ancient Egypt. This is talking about the new Egypt. Let me see here. . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . Because I can't read all of these. Let me come over here to Acts. Right, this is ancient Egypt. It's in Acts 7. And we know this, but this is for these Christians that when they say, well, no, that's not talking about, that's talking about ancient Egypt. All these scriptures are talking about ancient. Anytime you see the word Egypt, it's talking about ancient Egypt. It says, and their dead bodies shall lie in the streets of the great city spiritually called Sodom and Egypt. Now ask a Christian that. What does it mean by spiritually called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified? But they'll say, oh, that's talking about Israel. Because nope. He was crossed out in our minds over here when we were brought over here to serve slavery. Let me see. This is really a back to the basics, because everyone that's veterans and GMS should know this. Okay, the main one that I wanted, let me do this. Let me do this. This is what I want. Okay, this is Isaiah 19, right? Look at this. Look at this good. Isaiah 19:1, Isaiah 19, Isaiah 19:19, Isaiah 19, Isaiah 19, Isaiah 19, Isaiah 19, Isaiah 19, Isaiah 19, Isaiah 19. Keeps speaking about Egypt, right? Yeah, I was watching this one video that IUIC put up, and I forget the brother's name, but he was saying he went to I believe he was dealing with Egypt, but I'm almost positive he was dealing with Isaiah 19. He was saying he was reading about Egypt, which he's supposed to say this Egypt is not talking about ancient Egypt, it's talking about Babylon the Great. What he did was, he said, I'm going to prove to you that we as Israelites were in the land of Egypt. No, that's not talking about that. You don't use this chapter right here. Like the very first verse, the burden of Egypt, which is what should come to your mind? A scripture that goes hand in hand with this one, Isaiah chapter 13, Babylon. Sometimes it's called Babylon, sometimes it's called Egypt, sometimes it's called Assyria, sometimes it's called the land of the north, sometimes it's called Sodom or Sodom in Egypt. It said, the burden of Egypt, behold, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. The Lord didn't come down on no ship and attack Egypt. The Lord came down in the ship after we left Egypt when we was in the wilderness. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4. You got a bunch of times, 20, 30 times the word Egypt in the 19th chapter. Every time it mentions Egypt, it's referring to America. And this scripture also proves, so if you agree that Egypt, the word Egypt mentioned in Isaiah 19 is talking about America, and you say, well, we don't know the Hebrew, the Most High didn't give us the Hebrew, we got to wait for the kingdom. Was that Zephaniah 3:9, I believe that is. We got to wait for the kingdom to get the Hebrew. Well, it says 5 cities. Let me do this. and Canaan, because Canaan is another name for America. In that day shall 5 cities in the land of Egypt speak, the land of Egypt. I say the land of Canaan. In that day shall 5 cities in the land of Egypt speak the language of Canaan and swear to Yahawah. It wasn't talking about ancient Egypt because we didn't know the name Yahawah, that was his principal name. It's when Moses was raised up, Yahawah of hosts, one shall be called the city of destruction. Why is it going to be called the city of destruction? Because this is the place, the new Egypt, Sodom and Egypt, is going to be utterly destroyed. So Egypt is the land of the north. So the brother from the IUIC, he need to come back and do another. As a matter of fact, you know what I'm going to do? Let me do this. Let me see if I can go find it. Isaiah chapter 19. Let me do it this way. Okay, Isaiah. Because he was trying to say, Isaiah 19, he said, well, I'm going to prove that Israelites lived in the land of Egypt. They ain't talking about that. Remember, this book is written in code. Come over here. I'm gonna get ready to land this plane. That's what Jake used that term. Let me get ready to land this plane. Okay, let me see here. Okay, bear me for a minute. IUIC. No. IUIC. I'm not trying to bash the IUIC today. Okay, 19. So let's see what happens. I believe this is the video. Because you can see that I saw it previously. So let me see what he says. There's a 15 minutes with the captain. I don't know the brother's name, so.
And he shall heal them.
All right. So we hear what? Egypt, Egyptian. All right. Now, mind you, Israel was scattered what? Everywhere. And among that time, of us going in and out of captivity, we also migrated to various lands. Give me Jeremiah 44:1. Jeremiah chapter 44 and verse 1. Read that.
Jeremiah chapter 44 and verse 1.
Come on.
The word that came to Jeremiah.
So you can see the title says Isaiah 19, the Egyptians and the Assyrians, right? And you heard what he just said. Roundabout here, started roundabout here. He's going to proceed to prove that you had Israelites living in Egypt and Assyria and around the world. And one of the scriptures that he's going to hit is Isaiah chapter 11, from about the 11th verse on down. How they were scattered to Cush, to Egypt. That's not talking about that. He broke that down completely wrong. Isaiah chapter 19 has nothing to do with Egypt. That's what you got to explain to people. He said this Egypt is code for America. Let's listen to a little bit more, then I'm going to close.
Maya concerning all the Jews.
All the who?
All the Jews.
Read.
Which dwell in the land of Egypt.
That's what, where?
In the land of Egypt.
Let's go to 2 Maccabees chapter 1, verse 1. All right, so what are we reading? What are we finding out? That Jews dwell in the land of Egypt. Read that.
But that's not the point. You're reading Isaiah 19, and matter of fact, let me start it from the top. from the beginning. I started right about here. And this brother right here should have said, well, brother, that's not talking about that Egypt. You know, they follow suit. If anybody's going off, just pretend like you know, just go along with them. So let's start right here.
Back with another 15 minutes with the captains.
That's
All right.
right.
Today, we are going to go over the understanding of Isaiah 19 when it talks about the Egyptian and the Assyrian. All right. Let's go there. Let's go straight there. Isaiah chapter.
So you heard what he said. We're going to talk about Isaiah 19, the Egyptian and the Assyrian. I'm dealing with the Assyrian. I mean, the Egyptian. It does mention Assyria too. And you heard what he said round about here, that we were living in Egypt, the land of Egypt. It's not talking about that.
The 19 and start at verse 19.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 19 and verse 19.
Come on.
In that day shall there be an altar to the Lord in the midst of the land of Egypt, and a pillar at the border thereof to the Lord.
Come on.
And it shall be for a sign and for a witness unto the Lord of hosts in the land of Egypt. For they shall cry unto the Lord because of the oppressors, and he shall send them a savior and a great one, and he shall deliver them. And the Lord shall be known to Egypt, and the Egyptians shall know the Lord in that day.
Come on.
And shall do sacrifice and oblation. Yea, they shall vow a vow unto the Lord and perform it. And the Lord shall smite Egypt, and he shall smite and heal it, and they shall return even to the Lord, and he shall be entreated of them. And
So that's us talking about. That's talking about us waking up over here and keeping the high holy days and calling on the name of the Most High, and the 5 cities in Egypt shall speak the language of Canaan, right? So let's see what he says. Okay, I don't want to condemn him quite yet. Let's see if he mentions America. I'll give him credit if he said, well, this is actually talking about America. Let's go to Revelation 11 verse 8. So let's listen.
and he shall heal them.
All right. All right. So we hear what? Egypt, Egyptian. All right. Now, mind you, Israel was scattered, what? Everywhere. And among that time, you know, of us going in and out of captivity, we also migrated to various lands. Give me Jeremiah 44:1.
So you can see right there, he missed the point. If he would have said, this right here, Isaiah 19:19 is code for America. How we waking up in America. This is happening. Isaiah 19, the prophecy of Isaiah 19 is happening now. He didn't say that. He didn't say that. And you can go back and listen to what this brother read. You can clearly, you in GMS, you can say that's talk about America, Sodom and Egypt. So you can watch the, if you want to watch the rest of it, you can watch the rest of it. I'm not saying, look, don't watch the video, you know, because you might leave GMS if you watch the rest of this video and find out GMS is full of shit. You can watch the rest of the video. If you want to waste your time for another 13 minutes, this is the point right here. Y'all with me, right? Right there, the first thing you just said was, this is talking about America. This is code for America. And then if he admits to that, then they can't say, well, we don't know the Hebrew. Nobody knows the Hebrew. We got to wait until the kingdom. Well, no, it said 5 cities in Egypt shall speak the language of Canaan. So as you listen to the rest of this, he pulls out a bunch of scriptures proving that we were in the actual land of Egypt. Totally missed the point. All right? And like I said, this brother, I don't know how many years he's been in school, he just followed suit. And why is this video up here? Didn't it come back to the head? This is 3 years ago. Why is this video up here? He's clearly going off. This is where your rank and file. Remember I spoke about that last night to y'all, pulled y'all to the top. I said rank and file. If I don't see something, somebody under me got to see it and correct it. And if the guy bucks up against your correction, you bring it up to the rank and file. Okay? And see, this is why these guys go off, because when somebody of a high rank teaches in the IUIC, people ain't gonna say nothing. They're just gonna go along. They're gonna take notes. That's what it says. We're gonna go with it. And he'll defend it. This Isaiah 19 is talking about America, the land of the north. Anyway, with that, I'm gonna say shalom.